My stepmom told my boyfriend happy birthday darling before leaning in for a kiss on the lips, and then she tried to have another, and now she's trying to have her cake and eat it too by asking me to not tell my dad about her gift to my boyfriend. My 22F, stepmom, 38F, was drunk but it's still crazy. We were celebrating my boyfriend's 26M birthday. My stepmom loves to drink and she's been drunk on many occasions. Usually she just becomes a louder and chattier version of herself. She's gotten angry drunk a few times too. Maybe what kind of drunk she becomes depends on her mood. I have never gotten drunk and I don't drink alcohol, so maybe I'm ignorant on its effects, but I find it hard to believe alcohol can bring this out. Please correct me if I'm misinformed. My boyfriend was sitting on a chair, but like reversed, so he had his arms crossed, resting them on the backrest, and his head was on his arms. We were watching a game on TV and the birthday party had kind of winded down. Most of the guests were gone. I was cleaning up. My stepmom was lounging outside and smoking. I missed some of the approach, but my boyfriend said she just came up to him and she was slurring her words and the TV was loud, so when she said something to him he didn't catch it, so he gestured for her to come closer and say it in his ear. She leaned in and told him, "You were so handsome. Movie star eyes." He said he just smiled back up at her and kinda laughed it off. He could tell she was very drunk. The rest of it I saw for myself. He returned his attention back to the TV. She reached out and touched his chin to get him to look back at her, and then she leaned in and my boyfriend told me she said happy birthday darling and kissed him on the cheek and then suddenly on the mouth. If that wasn't enough, she tried to kiss him again on the mouth, but he pushed her face. She laughed and I was so shocked I was frozen. I don't even remember what I said, but I said something. I remember my boyfriend's friend said, "Did she just kiss you?" My stepmom just laughed it off and told us don't make a big deal out of it, it was an accident. She won't so much as apologize, but when she got sober she approached me privately to tell me not to tell my dad. Would I be a jerk if I tell my dad? Or is this really just not a big deal? I don't want to cause stress for my dad. But I think this is a little too big to file away as a drunk oopsie, her words, and just forget about it. Commenter: she completely crossed the line with you, your BF and your father. My father is going through a divorce with a woman who is similar, drinks a lot, and is inappropriate. I caught her kissing a family friend on the lips many years ago. Now they are divorcing. I shared it with my father. He was upset because he said he suspected for years she was having affairs. I wish I had called her out at the time. My father could have left her years ago. She is now testing you, and because of her behavior I'd put money on the fact that she will try to gaslight you to your dad moving forward. You run the risk of losing your relationship with him. I'd sit him down, with your BF and with her. Say that this is uncomfortable but you'd like to put some boundaries down. She is not to flirt, kiss or touch your BF ever again. If she puts it back to being drunk, then let her know she needs to get some help on that if she is going to cross boundaries every time she drinks and can't control herself. Update 1. I got asked it a lot, so we'll say it here in case my comment didn't get noticed. My dad is 43 years old, so the age difference between him and my stepmom, who's 38, isn't super drastic. People were wondering where he was during this. He was at work. I waited until my dad was home alone. I told him what happened. We have a rocky relationship because he has poor emotional regulation. That's why my mom left him. It's getting better between us though, since both of us have been making a conscious effort to communicate calmly, so this conversation was one that I was dreading with my dad, but it went as well as it could. My dad's first response was still to be irritable and defensive. He focused his anger, unfairly, on my boyfriend initially. I had to make it very clear that this happened unknowingly and spontaneously as far as my boyfriend is concerned, and that he was a victim in this. I also mentioned to my dad that my stepmom told me not to tell him. My dad was too angry for words and didn't say much to me. He left the house and came back later a bit more cooled off. He made me repeat the order of events again, exactly what was said. He then said the rest is between my stepmom and him and he doesn't want me to get involved. He requested me to not have my boyfriend over for a while. I can go over to his place instead. That works out since my boyfriend doesn't feel comfortable around my stepmom anymore. You guys speculated my stepmom has a drinking problem. She definitely does. I think it's gotten worse in the last few months. I don't know why though. I have never had any issues with my stepmom, but we are not exactly close either. Update 2. The title makes me gag every time. I wish I'd written my original post in a better state. I just wanted to come back to add something to this situation. Last update, I promise. My dad and stepmom talked privately, and although I didn't get to be a part of those conversations, she did approach me afterward requesting to make an apology. She asked me if we, my boyfriend and I, could come over to hear her out, so we did. I could tell she took time beforehand to reflect and her apology was sincere. During the apology, she explained that she was so shocked and appalled by what she had done she didn't want to acknowledge it or hear about it. She said she cannot explain to us why she did that because she herself doesn't know. She said she does not remember the event either, and that has made it even more horrifying for her. She has a lot of self-loathing. She said she feels like she doesn't have any control anymore. That this was her rock bottom. She said her natural response when I brought it up was to try to reject it and push it away or try to make light of it because a mention of it made her sick with herself. At the same time, she understands that we didn't know how she was feeling or thinking or what was in her head. We could only judge her on her actions and behavior. When she minimized it, asked me to hide it from my dad, and basically her dismissal and avoidance in general, it just made everything worse. It was wrong, and she does seem to recognize that. I really believe her, but also at this point, I think we're all just trying to move forward from it, knowing she did something she can never take back, saying my BF. She knows that she broke everyone's trust and that it will take time to repair, and also that things may not ever truly recover or be the same, and forgiveness may never happen for her. My dad genuinely believes what happened was the alcoholism and her deteriorated mental health. I didn't know this, but she has been seeing a psychiatrist on an outpatient basis, and other incidents have happened with her, not infidelity or anything like what happened with my boyfriend, but instances where she has apparently embarrassed herself by doing things she would have never done otherwise. My dad refused to go into much details about that in front of myself and my boyfriend, though. My dad doesn't want me involved and has made it clear this is not my problem, and not something I have to help with. He doesn't want that, which is a great relief. Lately, I think back a lot about how I missed so many signs, like we're not close, but I didn't know the extent of this addiction. She drank a lot and smoked, but I always thought it's just her personality. She always looked immaculate and put together and happy. She was so functional. Well, until she wasn't. I said in my last post, but will say again, that I only noticed her drinking as a problem in these last few months because she started getting disorganized and messy and not her usual. They are going to separate, but my dad is going to continue to support her a bit with getting help. It's not that there's hope for reconciliation or anything. My dad said he wants to take it one step at a time. She needs to get sober first. Who she is right now is a person no one wants to be with or to be around. She has agreed to get help and comply with treatment. She is not moving out of the house immediately because the plan is to go into a treatment program. Also, she drinks so much she is at risk for withdrawal, so she's moving into the guest room until she gets into treatment, and then will not be returning home. I am back at home again too. I mentioned, but I live with my dad still, but I want to expedite moving out soon because the energy in this house just feels tainted. I also need to be away from her, unfortunately. My boyfriend is still uncomfortable about what happened. He has been brushing it off like it's fine and he's over it now, but I think it's something he's still processing. With us, it's become awkward. I feel like there's a huge distance suddenly between us. It's hard to describe. I think it's even harder for him to articulate it to me. But it sucks. Because, I feel like he's going to break up with me soon. I'm trying my best. I'm also trying to give him space and be supportive and also let him have autonomy over this. I just feel so poorly equipped to fix things, and I know in my heart that I actually can't fix this. It's a helpless feeling. I'm sure that my family just grosses him out now, and I feel so embarrassed about it and guilty, and I feel gross myself. I wish I could wash everything away. I really need to move out. I wish this didn't happen. Anyway, so that hurts. Also, my biological mom remarried and she's a year older than my dad. Hope that clears up any misconception about their ages. I think some people misread, so when they did the math they kept using my stepmom's age to calculate when I was born. They were not exactly teen parents, but I honestly can't imagine having a kid at my age, so it's still crazy to me that they had me so young. Thank you again for reading and listening and pushing me to communicate. I think if my dad and I can survive this, we can probably communicate our way though anything, right? Wishful thinking. My only request is, if anyone has supports or tips for dealing with a family member who is addicted to alcohol, please share if you can. The brochures I picked up are so basic. Edit, I commented in detail here to clarify some things further. We have not forgiven her. Neither myself, my boyfriend, or my dad. My dad even said he will support my boyfriend if he wants to press charges. She knows what she did is assault. As I mentioned, my dad is requesting separation. She is going into treatment and will look for a place while in treatment using their supports for housing. I'm trying to fast-track moving out and going no contact with her. I was supposed to move out with my boyfriend, we were touring apartments, and now it's different. All of these things take time, unfortunately, and I'm new to navigating them and have other things going on too outside of this incident. I have intentionally left out how my boyfriend feels because it doesn't feel like my place to put words to it, especially since how we write things on Reddit can easily be misconstrued. I just shared a little bit that I felt comfortable sharing. My dad has attempted to speak to him privately, my boyfriend did not want that and it was respected. I have spoken to him privately. He also has good friends to lean on that can be there for him in a way I can't right now because I'm involved. He is the true victim of all this, and I didn't mean to minimize that by not mentioning certain things. Sorry if it came across like that. I was just trying to be careful. Commenter 1. Honestly, I can't really blame your BF. It's great your stepmom apologized and now seeking help. However, that doesn't instantly change how uncomfortable she made your BF. I would try and reassure your BF. Say I understand you probably still feel uncomfortable being around my stepmom. I want you to know I do recognize that and will follow your lead on how you wish to handle this situation. I will not pressure you or guilt trip you if you don't want to be around my stepmom anymore. Commenter 2. Your boyfriend is uncomfortable because of the fact that you and your father are using her alcohol addiction as an acceptable reason for your stepmother to assault him in front of other people, and you are continuing to live with her and support her. The fact that your father refuses to tell you about the other incidents where she embarrassed herself but says that they weren't cheating means absolutely nothing. This incident wasn't cheating. It was assault. The only way that you and your boyfriend can stay together is if you show him that you support him. You have to leave your father's house. I just want to clarify that we are absolutely not excusing her behavior. She knows it was assault and we have only ever framed it that way, and that's why my dad has requested separation from her. I'm trying to show my support to my boyfriend to the best of my ability, and I'm also respecting his space and giving him time because I know he can't magically be okay just because she apologized.